Today we are talking about unfairness. Dang, how fun is that? Yeah. But what a topic to, well, we're not really closing up the year yet, but this is close to the end of the year, so the last month. So here we're only going to focus on the social aspect of unfairness, because if you go down in like the whole everything about unfairness, there can be political aspects, there can be rights. So we're not going to get into all of that. We're only going to focus on us talking and interacting with other people and the unfairness that comes with that. Because honestly, some of us are just not born in a family where maybe the parents are very encouraging or they're not as talkative. So we didn't really pick up different aspects of how to become more sociable. And because of that, we look at it and it becomes like a crippling effect that we can't do the same things as other people. So it seems really unfair because we can't do the things that other people can do. Just go out there, chill, have fun, be with friends, and just talk freely. That feels really different, and sometimes there's this unfairness that comes with it. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the bell. So the outline today will be, one, how exactly do you deal with unfairness? And the second one is, for unfairness, in action. So it's kind of so much like a explanation done in a different way to kind of help you visualize what kind of things that you can do and kind of advantages that you might potentially have. So first, how exactly do you deal with unfairness? And here we're talking about socially that you might not be as well equipped. For me personally, when I think about fairness, is that it reminds me of time when I was little, whenever my siblings would get like, I don't know, some kind of candy or be able to play certain games. If they get to and I didn't get to, then I think it's unfair. It's like, what? How come you get to do that and I don't? This concept of fairness has been ingrained inside of me and sometimes inside all of us because we think same is fair. We have to be able to do the same things in order for it to be fair for everyone. But sometimes that's not really the case. I know some of us might be like, I really want to be sociable, but I'm not as attractive or interesting as other people, so I can't keep conversations going. And that is a huge hindrance in terms of my small talk. Then the more we think about how much we're lacking and how much we're not like this really talented person, then we start to go into this phase where we just stop wanting to do anything. We don't really feel motivated to grow, and it stunts us because all we can think about is how come we are not like someone else. And this is where I want to point out that as long as we're using other people as measuring sticks, we will think life is constantly unfair because we're not clones of each other. So we can't do the exact same things as other people. And why would you want to be a clone of someone else? You had to learn to be yourself. And one of the worst things that I think you can do after you start feeling really unfair is to let it take over your life. You start to feel unfair whenever you see all different things or you see someone on social media and reminds you of how unfair it is. That will trap you in a loop and it will make you not want to do anything. And that's one of the worst places to be because when you're losing time to grow, and we don't want that. So I really believe that a good portion of us are really not satisfied and not content with our own progress because we are constantly comparing ourselves to the wrong standards. If this person is going down this path and the person is getting all this attention because this person is so talented at painting, we start measuring ourselves towards that standards, towards that person's fame, talents, abilities, everything. But I don't know if you're supposed to be a painter. Are you? But as long as you measure yourself according to that, you're only chasing after someone else and trying to be a clone of that person. This is where you need to change and stop making that pursuit and stop making that your goal. So this is one of the quotes I really like. Honestly, I'm not really sure if Albert Einstein actually said it, but it's a good quote. So I'm going to say it. So the quote goes like this: everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. I don't know why, but this quote, I just find it really funny. Fish and climbing a tree, but it explains a really good concept that if you were not made for a certain environment, then don't try to force yourself in a particular way and then judging yourself by that standard. So sometimes we let different life goals or standards kind of box us in terms of where exactly we should be. Stuff like we should get married by a certain age, or that we should have a certain level of income, or that our ability to pass a certain exam and getting a license. Those things become standards and measuring sticks for how well you're supposed to be at. And those things are not so much bad in itself, but we need to be careful in terms of letting that dictate our sense of identity and self-worth. So right now you basically have a choice. You can choose to compare yourself to other people and by the successes they have done, and continually thinking that you have to chase up to them. And because if you're in the chasing game, the goal is the other person, and to some extent you always feel like it's unfair because that person is already finished. That person is the result. So you will feel life is unfair. Or you can choose to express yourself and just be who you are and grow who you are and let that be your own path. And how exactly do you express yourself? You need to learn to communicate with other people. And this is where the basic social skills comes in, because you have to understand how exactly do you carry a conversation? How do you talk with other people and get to know them? Or learning to join a community that really values and accepts you for who you are. These are basic skills that you need in order to get to a point where you can fully express who you are and engage the community, and then be able to share your talents with the people around you. So now let's use an example here. So bear with me. Let's pretend that in your entire life, every possible skill that you can learn, there are only 5 types of skills you can learn. And every particular role in life is actually a combination of these 5 skills. Because very rarely would you come across a job that the only skill you need is just one single skill. It's usually a combination of various skills in order for your job to work. So to be a very good engineer, you need the combination of this. And then to be a good storyteller, you need this. And then to be a good friend, you need this. And now let's say you see this guy. His name's Jerry. And he has a great job, social life, and it's just amazing. And you see his attributes here, and this is his skill set. You can see that his skill set has to match to degrees of each one of the criteria to become a good, expert in this area. So he might be a really good engineer, but he might be an okay friend. But the combination of his skill set has to match. However, everyone's skill set is unique. So your skill set is probably not going to be identical as Jerry's. And for you, you might feel like it's unfair, but in reality, your skill set is like this, which is really different than his. However, there is a catch. This skill set that I just showed you, this is actually the potential skill set that you can have. Because right now, you still have tons of room to grow, and this might be where you're actually at. And because you've been focusing on looking at the wrong skill set, the wrong standards, you have stopped growing. You have stopped being motivated to actually try to grow. So you've been maybe stuck in this particular place. But if you focus, if you keep on trying, you can become this skill set. And that is where you actually want to be at. So hopefully this was helpful to some degree, because I feel like a lot of times we look at the wrong things and we get really discouraged. We feel like sometimes we want to be good at everything. And whenever we see anyone that's talented in everything, it's so easy for us to just compare ourselves to anyone and everyone. And it's really just a losing cause, because you can't be super good at everything. Like, it's just not possible. And at the same time, it's really discouraging, and we really feel like it's unfair because we can't be like all those things. But in truth, you have to stop worrying about other people and start investing in what you can potentially be. And sometimes that comparing is just really detrimental. And that is it I want to talk about for this video. Stay strong, stay healthy. If you feel like this video has helped you in some ways, you can like, subscribe, comment, share, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys next time.